It's game 3, guys.
Boom.
Oh, baby. We got Bradley on the left. We got Chris on the right. We have a rematch between Reina and NEH. Can Chris speed up the game and get it done, or will the train leave the station and leave Chris in the dust?
It's like I'm at a professional fight.
My name's Steven.
And I'm Tim.
We got Tim over there.
Got Steven over there.
And my goodness, NEH, can you say enough about this deck? This is right as soon as Clot and Traffic Jam have released. Not really been integrated. Players not wanting to take a relatively untested deck generally to a monthly tournament. And now we get to see a little more ice this game. All right. Sure Gamble starting it off. A better start for Chris here. Running HQ. No res. Always a bummer whenever HQ is not resed in your Reina. Because maybe they just don't have anything. Don't do it. You can't do it. Yeah.
He thought about it.
Thought about it. I think Wizard's about the only person who can do that. And even then, it's a question mark. Going back into HQ. Scouting it out. Hide that dice.
What does hiding it do here?
Nothing. And then run the remote. It's a Sansan.
And it's gone.
It's gone. All right, so Chris basically sees a few things and gets -1 credit on the turn. That is a good exchange for an NEH deck, which is why they do what they do. Installs a new remote. Another potentially must-trash asset there in a Sansan. And then installs over HQ. I've had worse. Always a reasonable card, no matter what situation you're in.
Yeah, I've had worse.
Running HQ, probably going to see what? A pop-up window or something?
Pop-up, and then toll booth.
Do we know what Bradley's running ice-wise?
No. At least I don't.
Now we do.
Okay.
And so Bradley on NEH Grail, and looks like he's not adding any subs.
That's a bummer.
Not seeing the old triple Merlin here. Or double, I should say. Which is backbreaking, by the way. In case you didn't know that.
Wait, what? Say that again? Rewind? No, it's good.
Gains of credits.
There you go.
And Parasite the Galahad. It's going to be gone next turn. And not enough money for a Sansan agenda.
Power shutdown for 2.
Install remote, draw a card. Jackson's going to draw 2. Curate the hand a bit.
How about Jackson Howard?
Oh, man. Getting rid of both.
Server gone.
How about Jackson Howard? I honestly think if Trash Well accessed, worth 1 or 2 agenda points would have been reasonable. Like all the other executives, you know? We got a new Galahad up top HQ, and we're adding a Merlin to it. 2 net damage. What a crazy suite of ice, too.
Oh! Eater.
Eater, clone chip. Oh, you don't want clone chip gone.
Yeah.
Oh, Parasite.
Those are 2 really good cards to pull.
Clone chip into Parasite on Galahad here looks okay. Oh, just clicking for credits. It hurts. It's so annoying. 3 clicks for credits.
I bet he has liberated. No.
Yeah, I liberated a sure gamble, and this is the problem with some of those economy. That's why I keep coming back to Armitage, even though I don't like the numbers on it. It feels better than it is. You know what I mean?
It's tough.
I can get 11 credits faster than I normally could, and that's worth something. Sweeps week for what? 2 credits? 3?
Looks like it.
I think that was 2 credits, right? Or 1?
He needed that credit.
All right, Chris drawing a lot. Sure Gamble clone chip. So that will give him the opportunity to bring that Parasite back in at the end of Bradley's turn for a wide open HQ. So Bradley's got to be aware of this.
Of course.
And I think he is.
And I think you don't overwrite the Galahad either.
Yeah, force the Parasite.
Yeah, force
Maybe
the clone
put
chip
something up top.
Yeah. Or, if you don't have any agendas in hand, whatever.
Jackson drawing 2. God, it's such a problem, because you want to go over there and force that Jackson off the board. But time and money, they go together. Hard to find both.
So Bradley installed the card in that remote and drew 6 cards that turn.
That's insane. It sickens me.
It's a lot.
Well, this is an interesting spot now. Bradley probably can't reliably hold agendas here because that Galahad's going away. So at least this will give an Archives run.
Unless
Or a
Bradley just
Jackson
hasn't
run.
seen any,
He could not have seen any.
which would be hilarious.
First is Archives. Jackson's out of there. What do you think about R&D first?
Oh yeah.
You like R&D first
Oh, yeah.
there? I like that
Almost
too.
always if Jackson's on the table, I want to hit R&D first.
Especially with 6 credits and Reina's ability. He actually sees 2 NAPDs. Steals 1.
It hurts so much.
It really does, doesn't it? He could gain 2 and get the other one, and then I think just lose though.
I mean, I'm okay with being at 4. It's more than I usually score.
I mean, that's true. If he could get just like a dirty laundry or something. Oh, Lamprey's nice. That makes this exchange really good. It makes me also really want him to have checked that R&D ice a lot more. Lamprey for a card and -1 credit. There's a Galahad. Bradley loses 1. And a Lancelot. So the entire suite is around. It's a pad campaign. And the old mandatory draw. Install the draw. Install over HQ.
I wonder if that's an agenda up there.
I think it's probably a Jackson. He might be able to defend this NAPD, because if Chris gains 3 and runs Archives, it's so bad if that's a Jackson over there. They're just run HQ. Draining money no matter what, but man, opening up to some Merlin shenanigans here. And oh man. All gone via Merlin. This is why I don't like Reina so much right now. Face checks are so hard these days.
Yep.
With Architect coming into the fore and then all this Grail Ice. Ooh.
It's
Well, we're playing some small ball here, Tim.
Yeah. Let's just keep the credits as low as possible, gentlemen.
One
We don't want
credit
to have to count high.
Pad campaign is up. Boy, how about seeing 3 Galahads?
It's not bad.
It's real good. I've run some Grail Ice in my day, and I never see it. It's like I see 1 Merlin for the first 16
Whenever
cards.
I see that Galahad, though, I rejoice.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Rory.
I love 3 credits here.
Yeah, it's good.
Ooh, Katie. Oh, man. Tim, where's the R&D pressure? I want it. Chris trying to play a longer game here, and I think this is just going to turn.
That's generally what happens.
Now that Bradley's getting 2 credits a turn.
Katie is not the fastest of economy cards.
I had to eventually cut my Katie's, and I didn't like it.
I think that you can run Katie. You just can't rely on her as your sole source of economy.
Chris has a lot of times, he's been a huge fan of like 2 or 3 Liberated, 2 or 3 Armitage, and then Katie. I saw that in an old build of his. I'm sure it's moved on from there, and Sure Gamble, obviously. I don't know what he's up to now, but there's a sweep speak for 3. And look at this economy, just turn around. And 2 credits. So it's a much slower game this time. We're seeing the slower side of this NEH deck.
I imagine we might see it speed up a little bit here in just a second.
Take Katie, Liberated, gain 8. Pretty, so maybe he is running what I was talking about.
It's
Looks like he
possible.
only took 4. Sansan, and here comes the Astro. Show it to me, Bradley. Hey, Tim.
I love Astro.
Oh, my goodness.
It's so fun.
It's a wild card. But the good news is it's not rotating now. Nothing happening. But we're seeing some tools, Klotz a tool, and I think the game is actually shifting a little bit more towards traditional servers. You've got to concede that 2 of the top 3 decks probably at this point are more or less glacier-y kind of, not fast advanced. So very cool to have at least some diversity in that respect. Breaking news. Right out of hand, looks like. Suppose he could have scored that and trashed that Katie. That would have been crippling next turn.
Would have been a bummer.
Oh, man.
I think that Bradley might be playing for the let's win before the money matters game.
Yeah, I think he's playing it just like that. You've got a fairly safe face check on R&D. Barely safe.
It's probably an architect.
You're right. Chris drawing a lot. Installs a sneak door and then gonna run sneak door.
Sneak door is a card that I think should see more play these days.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that he only has 1 click to run, right? Usually that first click sneak door is really where the money is. Grab that Astro. It's a sweeps. But we got a Lamprey. I like this little deck here. This is cool. 1 Lamprey versus 2 pad campaigns. I think we know how that goes.
That's another Astro. I know it.
You think so?
I don't know that, but anytime NH installs a new remote, I'm just like, ah.
All right, gain money, then installing another card.
Do you check those remotes?
I don't know. I mean, does it matter? Does Sansan even matter at this point? I guess it prevents like the Beal. Checks the remote and we don't get to see it.
No clue.
What a bummer. Sneak door, 2nd click. There's a wraparound for 3.
Wrapped.
Man, I'll tell you what, Lancelot there looks really good.
That's a wrap.
Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome, Steven.
Huron, Katie, and Vigil. Oh, man. This would be a great... I feel like this Reina deck is really tooled to do some work against about a mid-range deck.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel quite fast enough for NEH. And, hey, look, there's an Astro script.
Astro's cool.
He did it. So we're on game point here for Bradley. And there's the draw for NEH.
So all Bradley needs to do is draw a 3-2.
Yes.
In which there are 4 left in the deck.
Knight, Katie, move Knight, and running R&D. So hoping that there's nothing in hand here.
Pop-up.
Oh, my goodness. It's a pop-up. Chris could have been rolling through there. Man, NEH is so good. Access, it looks like a pad campaign to me.
Looks like a market accounts, I thought. Either way.
There could be a wild NAPD over in the corner, too. You've done that before, right?
I have done that before.
Advance 3 times, Astro it out. All right, there's Jackson. So at this point, HQ is going to be on fire.
I think you overwrite this pop-up window now.
Jackson, well, he's digging. All he needs is a 3-2 in hand, and this game is over. Going to draw 2 more. Man, drawing into a ton of ice, it looks like. I think still no agendas. And he's going to fast track for anything. Doesn't matter. I guess it may as well be Astro.
Yeah.
And so he's going to go down to 5 cards. One of those cards will be the Astro script. The other 4 will be nothing. Chris could potentially install Corroder and get 3 swings at it with his sneak door. I mean...
He could also move the Knight over.
Yeah, that's true. And then he could still get his 3 swings. It's probably just what he has to do. Now, what would be really funny here is if Bradley just completely discards that Astro and then Jackson's it back in. And there's just 3 HQ runs on nonsense. And just nonsense. But I think he can afford the risk here of Chris actually stealing this. He knows that Chris has the option of hitting it 3 times. And he'll lose 3 credits to boot. There it goes. Did he draw?
Yeah, from Vigil.
Oh, right. Sneak door pays 2. And he's going to lose a credit. And he has a shot at the agenda here. We assume. Now, Bradley could have been wily and hidden it away. There's a Merlin. Doing it again. Losing another credit. Tim, this is kind of intense here. He's got a decent shot at slowing this down. 3. He sees a biotic labor. Ugh.
So Bradley had a biotic and a fast track?
He may have drawn it off the second Jackson, though.
Right. Then he fast tracked last click.
It's wild. He draws into a Beal, but he had the Astro. Chris just missed it, but he drew into a Beal anyway. It didn't matter. The game was over.
Yeah.
NEH wins.
It's so fast.
Cubs win.
It's so fast.
Reina, I don't think Reina's fast enough. I don't think this deck is fast enough.
I agree.
Even though, like, Chris, I love the decks that he builds, and I particularly like this deck. I think it's like kind of one of those headlock style things. He's been running Reina forever.
Yeah,
and doing really
since
well
she
with
came
her.
out.
Gets to the finals, faces NEH, and it's still around.
Yeah,
it's just still a thing,
good.
guys. Thanks so much for watching. Congrats to Chris and especially to Bradley for taking this thing home. We are Team Covenant. Tim and I happy to do some Netrunner broadcasting.
Always happy.
Thank you guys for watching and listening. We love you. Take care. Do good work.
See you guys.